Now again, the last session again stopped abruptly. So we were talking about the Model 1 of your JBoss server setup. The Model 1 is nothing but two instances of JBoss running on a single box. And this is about how we're going to start those two servers. I just had let me just open that diagram that we had with the port numbers. So is that. I think here, yes, this one. This is JBoss domain 3 model 1. I'm not sure where this is actually located, but this is the server 1 and server 2. And if we try to start server 2 with the port offset of 100, these will be the port numbers. Now let's go ahead and quickly restart all of them. Actually, the server where we have started has actually crashed, so I'm going to restart that box again, and we have to again redo our steps. So let's go to the location where we have installed JBoss. This is our JBoss, and we have also created a wrapper script in the bin directory already. This is the wrapper script for our clustered server 1. As the important point here is it is started on the HA profile. Now this HA profile actually will have all the information related to J groups and infinite span. That's the most important part. Now the J groups will have the multicast IP port it's going to use, and also the infinite span will have its own setup. We're going to see all those details in a moment, but let's just go ahead and start the server. So the first server, remember that last time we have started this server, but actually it crashed because of the power shutdown here. So all the servers are coming up. The single server, it's coming up. So once it is up, you can actually see this server here. So PSF NEF grep for Java. This is the server. Now the same way we want to start the second server, but this server. So I'm going to copy that start server 1.sh to start server 2.sh, and then vi start server 2.sh. Here everything remains same, standalone -ha, binding, everything remains same, except we are adding an additional parameter here, the -d JBoss socket binding port offset. That's the parameter that I'm going to add. -d -t JBoss dot socket dot binding dot port offset equal to 100. So all sockets or all port numbers will be added 100 for the second server. So the log file also going to change. So log file is going to be server2.log. That's all, and we are ready to start now. So go ahead and do a start server 2 this time. .sh. So the log file should give you that these are started. You see this one here? This is the management port, the console port. So actually the server is actually started. It's pretty quick. Now if you see these two servers, now we have two servers now, each one of them on a different set of ports. The first one are running on a default port. The second server is running on this. Now these two common servers are in sync with each other, or they are in a cluster because of the standalone -ha.xml profile. Now inside this profile you will see information related to JGroup that will be used for multicast communication, and also you will see information of InfiniSpan. Now both these servers are actually using the same IP port, multicast IP port, for sending that information. That's why these two servers are in cluster. Means the settings are already there by default. So if you go into the configuration of standalone, go into configuration, let's open up that file, standalone ha.xml. Now search for InfiniSpan. You can actually see those two services being added at the very beginning itself. This is InfiniSpan service added, then JGroups. Now the in-depth details of both these services will be somewhere in the middle of the file. Now let's first search for InfiniSpan. Enter. So this is the first thing. Now this is InfiniSpan. You see, this is InfiniSpan related things. Cache container, they are actually used for caching the HTTP sessions. Now you may see this InfiniSpan at multiple locations, alright, depending on various elements that want to be cached. Like there are EZBs, then there are servlets, JSPs, then there are a couple of other services. It'll be too advanced at this point, but just remember that InfiniSpan is used for replication, the session replication. Now the same way, if we go back to the beginning of the file, let's open that file again. This time let's search for JGroups. Now the JGroups, as we know, is used for multicast communication, which means it should have some multicast IP port defined. Now this is all JGroups related configuration. The actual IP port will be defined. If you come down further, here we go. This is the JGroups mping, it's called. So the JGroups multicast IP port is defined here. You can actually see this IP and this port number being listened if you run a netstat. So let's go ahead and run a netstat and see if the servers are listening on that IP port or not. So let's run a netstat -na. Let's do a less command. So we're actually searching for 230.0.0.4 with 45,700 port number. Now that we have started both the servers should actually be listening on that IP port. Let's see if we have it. Let's go down further. I'm going down this list. There are a lot of IP ports that's being listened on by the JBoss instances that we have on this box. Here we go. 224.0.1.1.0.5. This is a different thing. 230.0.0.4. 224.0.1.1.0.5 is for a different purpose. I'll tell you what that is at a later point of time. So that also is a multicast address used by our JBoss. Now we are actually searching for 230. 004. So if you go down further, so search for 230.004. So you go down further. No, we don't have it. Okay, this is mod cluster. This is what we have seen already. 224.0.1.1.0.5. The J groups thing is not there. Let's see what the J groups is using. This is for J groups UDP. This is for J groups TCP. I think the J groups started using TCP protocol 7600. These are standard sockets. With the standard stock sockets, the J groups did not come up. J groups M ping is the multicast ping, that is. J groups is not started actually. This is the J groups clustering service. Okay, anyway, I'll show it to you in a moment. Let's come back. So we have two servers running in the clustered mode. Now if you deploy an application to both these servers, now anything that a session that falls on one of the servers actually gets distributed to the other server also. Means the session gets replicated to the other server also. So that's your model 1 of your JBoss cluster setup. Now let's go ahead and see the other models of cluster also. Now, before we go in further, let me just okay, I'm going to close it here for this session. Start a new one for the remaining 3 models. All right. Yep. Bye.